Let's go down to background settings. Let's say we were given a background plan from an architect, builder, developer. He took it offline of a floor plan. Now you don't have to do this, but it really does save some time. So anything that I do inside here, you can also do without the plan, but we'll do the plan. So background settings. So you have to find that JPEG image. The same project I showed you at the very beginning of the PowerPoint presentation was actually a real estate agent of a condo unit. They posted it on the internet. I took the JPEG off the internet, put it on my computer, uploaded it, and it's sitting on my desktop on my computer right now. So I have to say, choose the file. Just need to find that file. And my files being on my desktop would be right here. That's JPEG. Say open. It goes out into the cloud, takes that image, and goes, hey, let's put it inside my project inside the cloud. Okay, gotta hit save on this. Really important because it needs to save it to the cloud. I could lose my internet connection or my power, or it wouldn't be so good. Really important. So right now, if you count the squares, you're going to realize that this is not really real world scale. It needs to be real world scale. 1 foot equals 1 foot, 1 to 1. To do so, we're going to take this image and we're going to go ahead and scale it. You just need to know the size of any one thing. A dimension line, a scaling block, a dimension from point A to point B, and you're good to go. So we're going to take this dimension that says 11 feet. So from this drywall surface to this drywall surface, it's supposed to be 11 feet. So we can go ahead and actually say draw a line next to something new to the real life size of, activate that, and we're going to left click a point, an intersection, and we're going to left click another point over here and say from this point to this point, that needs to be 11 feet, type 11 feet, hit enter, and it resizes the background image. So you can do this multiple times too, because as the image gets longer, your crosshairs get smaller and tighter and more refined. So I can click this again, click that drywall again. You see that my crosshairs are a little bit tighter, a little bit more accurate, point to point. Type down here and say 11 feet, 11 feet, hit enter, tweaked it just a hair. Okay, so let's say it's good. I could proof this with my tape measure, which I highly recommend you do just to make sure your image wasn't distorted or anything, make sure your dimensions are still good. You're happy that your background is done. At that point, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. You can also type your B key on your keyboard, B as in background, it'll turn it off. And it'll also turn it back on. Okay, so I've got the background. So let's say I don't even want to build the walls or the floor or the ceiling or 3D model or anything. Let's just go right into space planning. So if we go right down into the interior design feature and say, like I did a Google search, I did a search within Floorplanner for the word sofa, and you could even extend this as a sofa white curved. So don't go crazy, but yeah, you have the ability to go a little bit further. I'm just going to say sofa right now. Okay, with the sofa, you can pull down this tab and you can do a running list and find something similar to the style of sofa that you want to go ahead and place inside your program. So I'm going to take this sofa, left click, drag, and drop. So you're already doing a space planning exercise. You already realize how narrow this 11-foot room is. I can select that sofa and I can modify the sofa over here in the editor window on the left-hand side. I could go ahead and say, no, Bob, it needs to be an 82-inch long sofa, so I can change it to 82. And maybe its depth a little bit more US sort of thing, 36 inches deep. I could change the height also if I knew what change that I wanted to make to it. So it's already changed. This model piece is now changed to the specific dimensions. I can take this and make two facing each other and say, let's make a copy. Or I could scale it freely, although I prefer to scale it in the editor window because I know the exact dimensions. You can rotate it in both directions, 90 degrees. You can flip it, although flipping it is left and right, not front and back. You can press down. Press down means it's trying to get on the surface that's directly below it. Right now it's sitting on the ground level, which is 0, so it's fine. It knows to find its natural home at 0, and most of these items do find their own natural homes, like accessories. When you put them on top of different pieces of furniture, they will find that natural home below them. But if you have to push it down, this is the button, and you can hit delete. You also have these fins on the outside that will allow you to rotate your project to something other than 90 degrees, and you have your undo button up here if you want to put it back the way it was. So I'm going to select that item. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of it. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees and put two items facing each other. Great. So if you were going to do coffee table, coffee table. Searching for coffee tables, misspelled coffee tables. Okay, so you get your coffee tables up here. Now there's another way of doing searches for items, not just the two columns looking up and down. In the lower left-hand corner is something called View More. If you hit View More, it will give you an entire warehouse on your screen. A little bit easier to do your shopping excursion here because you can see tons of them all at the same time. And trying to find the item that you want to go ahead and place. So maybe something round, maybe something glass, maybe this table here. I can left click this item and there's the breakdown of the information on the right. I can hit place item and it'll be placed on my plan. I could also just go ahead and grab the item. This takes a little bit more confidence. So just left click on the item and don't let go of it and start pushing because it has to drag onto your plan and you can't see your plan yet. So if you hold it down, left click, and drag, your background will actually disappear. And once you do this once or twice, you'll be totally comfortable with it. So if I said this vendor could maybe resize this, I could change this to maybe 24-inch round, 24-inch round, make 2 scatter tables instead. There's 1, make a copy, there's 2. Go ahead and drag this up and start. Again, just start doing your design. I need to show you something in 3D. It's really important. So I'm going to give you a bookcase because I want to show you how to put items in 3D accessories. So if we take this little boring bookcase and put it over here, and we're going to go ahead and rotate it. Okay, I'm not so worried about its direction because I can rotate it in 3D later, which is what I want to show you. Maybe put some accessories on it. The books and the accessories within Floorplanner are so cool. This is how you can really add great interest into your models. Here's some paper wrapped ones. I love these. These books, I'm just going to drag and drop them on top of the bookcase, not worrying about what shelf they're on yet. So got that over there. Okay, cool. Pretty much so. I've got all that in there. Plants. Plants are always good. Let's look for plants. Plants. Awesome. Floorplanner has some beautiful 3D plants. Drag this in. It was fun with plants versus furniture. Furniture having specific dimensions and such. We can go ahead and change these dimensions in a free way. Hit this free button here for free dimensions, and I can actually resize nature and make that plant a little bit more accommodating to the room. Of course, if you knew the specific dimensions you wanted to do, you could change them over here with depth and height on the left-hand side. Okay, so we've got all these items in there. If this was all you wanted to do at this point, we can go up to export at this point, export this image, and you're going to get as a level 1 project a PNG 8.5 by 11 scale to fit document, and you will be done. Again, we haven't built really anything in the walls, windows, doors, or anything at this point. So if you get to a really fast scaling, space planning exercise, you're off and running. But now let's continue it. Let's build the model. So if we go to the hammer, we can draw a room, which is all 4 walls, ceiling, and floor all at the same time, or wall by wall by wall by wall by wall. But you always want to make sure you complete the circuit, close out all of your walls, starting with your exterior and working your way inward. We're just going to do just this room right now. So I'm going to say draw a room. I want all 4 walls, ceiling, and floor all at the same time. Draw a room. Let's make this easy. Interior wall thick partitions. You need to know how thick your walls are going to be. In the US, we're talking about standard walls, 3.5-inch studs in the middle, metal or wood, gypsum board on either side, 5/8 inch, 5/8 inch, 5 inches roughly. That's how I like to draw my interior partitions, 5 inches thick. Height in advance, really important. Get that ceiling height down right at the get-go so you don't have to change it later. We'll say that we had the information on this and say it with a 10-foot high ceiling. Raised from floor, walls are sitting on the ground, which is 0. It's all good to go. So with all these dimensions in there, your crosshair over here represents the middle of the wall, not the edge, although we're going to be lining up with the edge of the wall, but that's the middle where it's going to draft. The blue circle, if you can barely see that blue circle as I'm trying to drag it around, inside the crosshair is the diameter of the thickness of the wall we just identified, 5 inches. You want to draft from the middle of the wall, not the edge of the wall, middle of the wall, and the middle of the wall in the other direction. So I'm going to find the corner in the middle, left click, and don't let go. And drag out anywhere from that one point. I haven't let go of my mouse click, and I'm visually trying to trace the inside edge of the image I can see behind it, which I know is the right real world scale. Trace it as best you can, let go. Cool thing is when you let go, it turns beige inside. You want that beige color to show up. That identifies the fact that you have a floor and you have a ceiling. It's automated. It's all been created for you, done. If you don't get that beige inside there, you did not complete your circuit. So always try to achieve the automated system to be easiest for you right from the get-go. This dimension over here, by odd coincidence, is exactly the correct dimension. I traced it a little too well. Usually in this example, I have this wall just being a little bit different, so I'm going to fake this just a little bit and say, oh, it wasn't correctly 11 feet. So if you need to make it exactly 11 feet, any of your dimensions, if you have a background or not a background, you can just select a dimension line, and you can go ahead and sweep over top of it and say, I want this to be exactly 11 feet. Don't hit enter. These tabs up above, you have three options to edit your distance of your walls. Now, the way you want to edit it, you have to select one of them. You can either edit it based on the wall above and bringing it down, and base it on the wall below and bringing it up, or just go from the center. Of course, it's the wall below. We're going to go ahead and bring this up, so this is the click you need to do here. And now it's exactly 11 feet, although before it was coincidentally 11 feet. Cool. That's how you can actually change any of your dimensions, and we can keep adding walls and keep tracing and building to this, but we're not going to do that. We don't have enough time. So hit save. Okay, so we got this done. Let's go ahead and talk about putting some materials on here and some doors and windows. So let's go for doors, place doors. Inside doors, you can view these 3D, which shows you where the glass is inside your windows, and or you can view them in 2D if you want to look at them architecturally. But between those two, you'll figure which ones you need to pick. There are sliding glass doors in here. Left click, drag and drop. They snap to the wall all by themselves. I am not doing that. So I just dragged it over, select this sliding glass door. There's the dimensions. If you know the actual spec of the doors, you can change that dimension now. I'm doing this, I can trace this because I can see where the opening is. So I can just go ahead and just extend this and resize this freely. Fill out that space. And I could change the height of the door if I cared to, but I'm not going to bother. So that's cool. So we got a sliding glass door in there. We could go ahead and we could add this other door. We can just keep going with those windows here also. So I'm going to put some materials in here. Let's go for the material button here in the lower left-hand corner. And let's change this to be looking for wood for the flooring. And in the wood flooring, find yourself a nice plank floor that you like. And there's a nice one. Left click and drag and drop on the floor. Voila. Then let's go ahead and we got our plants. Let's paint the walls. Go for our paint. Let's find a color range that we like. Go into the maybe colors of blues. Sapphire looks good. Left click, drag the sample. Go over to the wall you want to place it on. Hover over the wall. Either paint the exterior wall, cover it this color, but you want to fill the entire white dot. So I'm going to go for the interior, paint that wall blue. It is now done. We've got everything in there. I could type my B command at B as in boy and turn off the background. Cool. Or we could have gone back all the way back into the settings and change that. But B is a nice shortcut. Here we can go ahead and change this to be a line drawing like we showed at the very beginning. We show it diagrammatically. We could show this with materials. Okay, so everything's in there, looks good. Hit our save button. So now, real important, how to make some modifications in 3D without having to change them in 2D. Because it will visually, it's easier to place items in 3D. So let's go into 3D. When you go into 3D, voila. Starts with this orbit feature in the upper right hand corner. It looks like a little bird's nest or an atom. That is your dollhouse view selected, looking straight down. Again, I talked about this zoom all feature on the left hand side, zoom extents bullseye. It helps to center your project, which is a cool button. You can go ahead and left click and use your mouse and start twirling around the space if you care to. Noticing that the walls get in your way while you're trying to study this. One of your settings in 3D in your settings is cutaway walls. Kind of fun. If you turn cutaway walls on, you will notice that it will go ahead and turn off the walls of the exterior wall in front of the camera view as you twirl around the space is great to fascinate your clients and go, wow, understand my space, see what I'm doing, cool.